Hey, so today I want to talk to the homeowners that are currently mom and pop landlords. That's basically who I'm talking to now. California had a vote yesterday on a bill, AB 1157, and it looks like it's going to pass. And that's going to change how things are done by mom and pop um, landlords. And so there's a couple of main provisions that have been changed if it's in fact passed that you need to know about. And so before, if you were a corporation or you were a big entity, you were falling under the Tenant Protections Act. And so there were certain just cause eviction protections for the tenants, as well as rent cap adjustments that mom and pop people were exempt from. Because if they just had a condo and they were renting it out to their people, then they would be exempted from those things. And so I'm just going to run through a couple of the changes. So under the just cause eviction process, this removes that exemption for those that own single family homes or condos that are individually owned, meaning they would now fall under the just cause eviction rules. And that's a huge change because now mom and pop people are going to have to play along with that. And that means you have certain rules that the tenants have that you have to give certain amount of notices, you have to compensate them for moving out, things like that after 12 months. So there's a whole bunch of rules you're going to now have to play ball by. The other thing is it does keep the exemption for mobile homes, if that's okay. But the other thing that it does is that it had a sunset provision of January 1st, 2030 that is now going to be removed. So it's going to make that just cause eviction protection permanent in the state of California. And by the way, what we're talking about is a whole state of California mandated program. So everybody's going to have to go by this. The second thing is the rent cap adjustments. Previously, under other rules, those that had to play by that allowed in California to raise the rents by 5% plus the cost of living, which is known as CPI, or 10%, whichever's lesser. And so now that provision's going from the 5% down to 2% plus the CPI, or a cap of 5%. And so that's going to eliminate this rent cap adjustment, going to eliminate that exemption for the same people that own condos, same single family residents. So they're all going to be subject to this new rent cap laws, and they're going to maintain that exemption for the qualified mobile homes only. So any property that you own that you lease out, you're now going to be a part of that rent cap adjustments. And that extends that rent cap provisions indefinitely because, again, that sunset provision as of January 1st, 2030 is now going to go away, and it's going to make this a permanent piece. There's some other stuff that's in there, but these are the two main things that you need to know about. If you're a mom and pop and you're renting out your condo or your house, you now have to play by the rules of just cause eviction protection. So you can't just tell somebody, this is an example of how this is going to work. If you're going to sell your property, you can't use that as a reason now. So that's not a just cause eviction for asking someone to leave. Now you either have to move into the property or you have to do a substantial remodel of that, and there's a whole set of rules that go along with that. So it's no longer going to be a valid reason if you want to sell your house. That's just an example of how this is going to really affect somebody, because mom and pops, they rent it out for a while and then they say, you know what, being a landlord is not exactly for me. I'm going to sell that property and do something else with it. No longer are you going to be able to do that. You're going to have to keep that person in and not be able to give them that reason. So those are a couple of things. Reach out. Let me know if you have any questions regarding that, and I'll try to do my best to help you out.